camera's hot, man.
Hot mic.
Hot mic, yeah, exactly.
I told you you were supposed to. Oops, what did you do? They edited.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I was like, oh my God, it's done.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold
I do
on,
thank
y'all.
them though.
Come on, Jen.
I just want someone to
Jennifer,
give us
do
a
it.
live recording so we can actually see it.
Yeah. Oh, why couldn't we watch it on Hulu?
I mean, why we couldn't? Oh, hey.
Hello, everyone. This is Yve-Car and Stephane from Kreyol Essence. Shark Tank just ended, and we are so happy to be here with you guys and Union Suite live to answer your questions.
Yes, sirree.
Okay, so can we get an introduction of who's who and what just happened on Shark Tank? What was the deal for anyone that missed it, which missed the show, which they shouldn't have?
We only gave out so many emails. Salut tout le monde. Hello, how's everyone doing? My name is Stephane Jean-Baptiste. I'm the co-founder and chief operating officer for Kreyol Essence.
And I am Yve-Car Montperouse. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Kreyol Essence. So for those who missed the epic episode, we have a deal with Mr. Wonderful himself, and it was for $400,000 for 5% of the company, with a royalty deal of 25 cents per product that we sell.
So pretty much, how many sharks were there? All 4 sharks were out.
Yes.
They didn't want to do a deal, and we essentially went into the tank, committed to getting a deal. And, you know, it was an opportunity. Yve-Car stuck to her guns, knew that the percentage or the equity that Mr. Wonderful wanted to get from the company just didn't align with our numbers. And so, you know, she offered royalty.
Yeah.
And he's Mr. Royalty of Shark Tank. So we knew that it was an opportunity to get a deal and align ourselves with a great shark and a partner.
Yeah, indeed. We're super excited. I think one of the things our families asked us after they watched the show is, how do we feel about Mr. Wonderful? What do we think about him as a partner? And what I shared with them is that we're actually very excited. We did a lot of research on Mr. Wonderful himself, and to see how he supports women-owned businesses, to see how he focuses on the numbers, because it's important. As a business, we want to grow, we want to scale, and to have the impact that we want on our community, we have to grow. We need to get to 10 million, we need to get to 100 million. So to have a disciplined investor who's going to hold our feet to our fire, that's what we love, so we're excited to have him. Yeah, our feet to the fire.
So for anyone that's just now finding out about Kreyol Essence, what is the most important thing you think they should know about Kreyol Essence?
First thing.
Haiti.
Okay, I feel like the first thing they have to know.
You know, synonymous, but yeah.
It is synonymous. I would say our focus is on those with dry hair, dry skin, and those with textured hair. So from a product perspective, we love providing natural plant-based beauty products.
Non-toxic and clean beauty for our tribe.
Yes, coming from Haiti. So that's number one. What would be the second thing you would say, Stephane?
Our social impact. You know, we actually produce, working with local Haitian farmers, women producers, and our social impact mission of job creation and poverty alleviation in Haiti is our personal mantra, things that we, for beyond Kreyol Essence, that we've been working in the community to help combat. And so this is just another vehicle of just our passions.
Yeah.
That's how we got together.
That's how we got together. That's how we met. We like to say that social impact is part of Kreyol Essence DNA. It's the reason why we get up and do this very hard thing called entrepreneurship. And we're talking about entrepreneurship from an international perspective, because we are entrepreneurs in the U.S. and in Haiti.
Yeah.
And for the tribe from Haiti, you know, we love our country, but it is a challenging place to do business and to work. So you really have to be committed to work there.
And speaking about Haiti, today is the 10th anniversary of the horrible 7.0 magnitude earthquake in Haiti. When you guys found out that the show was airing today, what did that mean to you? Because that wasn't planned.
No, it was not. It was not. What
Yeah.
did it mean to you?
Well, first of all, ma di nan Kreyol parce que ou konnen gen moun ki ba di, oh, vous pa parler en Kreyol. Même si Kreyol nan lou, but, it's...
Et gen moun ki ba même ka fè ça.
Exactly.
So, met continue parler.
But, jouan, c'est vraiment un jour qui impacte tout Haïtien, même si c'est États-Unis, même si c'est Haïti, Canada, Montréal. Son jour pour nous songer vraiment situation pays and vie qui perdue. But, faut que nous assurer on where, okay, now I gotta go back in English, on where beyond, right? On where, on d'avance, right? Pour where, dans qui façon nous cap changer pays et assurer nous toujours avancer.
Yeah. I think for me, it really is a national day of remembrance. It reminds us of what we need to do. It reminds us of our responsibility to those who lost their lives in Haiti. And I don't look at it anymore as being sad. To me, it's almost a mandate that you have to keep going. On our Instagram page today, we talked about what happened to your sister Lila, and the fact that during the earthquake, she was missing for almost 24 hours. Stephane's mom could not find her. She was under the rubble, and this girl fought to live. She fought. She was hurt, trying to get herself out of the rubble, and his mom had to go with her intuition that I know my daughter is alive. When other people were ready to give up, she's like, I can feel it in my gut. And with that determination, when she found her daughter and her daughter kept fighting for life, to me, how dare I not fight? How dare I not have hope when we have folks who were injured, who were killed, who were homeless in the country? And then for us to be so blessed, and I know there are many of us who pour a lot into the Haitian community, but to me, this is a day of you have to keep going and you have to keep fighting. And I know it's also a sensitive day because this is a day we hear about all the things that have gone wrong, all the things that have not been done. But I love, and we also posted this, that a gentleman named Hugh Locke, who is part of the Smallholder Farmers Association, he connected with 46 different businesses in Haiti that he personally knows, including Kreyol Essence, and asked them to give this story of where are you now 10 years later? Have you progressed and what's next? And when you read the stories, there's no way you're gonna leave feeling down. You're gonna leave feeling inspired. You're gonna leave knowing that ou gen 46 lot moun kap travay du même jan avek ou, kap assurer que nous pas oublier Haïti et que nous pas seulement crier jour 10 janvier, mais nous prenons comme un jour son mandat lié pour nous travailler. So that's my feeling on January 12th.
And sticking with Haiti, talk to people about the work you're doing in Haiti. What does that look like for people that's like, talk a little bit about what you guys do and why you stayed committed to making sure that your products coming from Haiti, you're employing women in Haiti.
So I would say the first thing when folks ask us, où joindre l'huile en Haïti vraiment? I love that question because it speaks to the acknowledgement of how hard it is to get the product here and why it's such a quality product to obtain and support. And one of the reasons, like I know recently there were questions around, te gen pays là, qui j'en fais joindre l'huile sorti en Haïti? Well, if anyone's on our email list, they will actually see that there were some things that were sold out, and we had to apologize to our customers and say, bear with us, but we have some products that are stuck, qui la douane, and that we're gonna have to get it to you a little bit later. We are fighting, comme si n'a prétend le pas gen manifestation pour moun ap mette l'huile. And if you guys have ever seen us, if you're on our production IG, you're gonna see the big 55-gallon drums.
One of them broke the back of our car.
Yeah, our cars have been through everything, but we literally risk heaven and earth to get you all castor oil. But the reason why you can always count on a consistent supply from us is we have some amazing partners in Haiti, and that we've been at this for 5 years. And even before we started officially in 5 years, we were already starting to do research. So oftentimes we're buying in bulk, and that's one of the big things about our company is that it's cash intensive in the sense that we have to be laser focused on inventory and buy in bulk, we have to be able to stay connected with our staff and team to be like, oh, palge manifestation.
Right.
You know, we need to plan 3 months out, 4 months out, 6 months out. So if you are going to buy, you know, on meat, on gloss, on tibagay maskriti, sure, you may not be able to find it, but we're working months in advance to make sure that we don't let you guys down. And most importantly, when I'm working with our retailers like Whole Foods, and you know, we just announced that we're going to be launching at 1,200 Altas. Okay? They're going to look at me like, Yve-Car, there are plenty of other people who want these shelves. Stephane, you're funny, we love you. But, you know, this is a business, where's my product? So it's a lot of hard work, but it is doable when you're working by scale, and then you are, you know, importing things into the United States from Haiti by containers and in large volumes.
On a quick personal note, though, and if you watch the episode, you know, we mentioned that in 2016, you know, we lost a major account, we lost a major supplier that saw the business take a dip, and it's because we were committed. We were committed to staying in Haiti, no matter, you know, the circumstances, the situations, and you know, I commend Yve-Car for just really noticing the sacrifices that we needed to take personally and in the relationship. She quit. She went down there. You did what? 3 months down there?
3 months at a time.
At a time.
At a time.
You know, and just really, because Haiti son pays, like, un peu de monde dit, ok, m'a fait business Haiti, but for who là? Well, just shit at États-Unis, Miami, New York, and say, okay, m'a fait business Haiti.
Yeah.
You gotta go down.
We tried it.
Yeah, we
it
tried
didn't
it.
Work. It didn't work.
Know the situation, and so that's part of the commitment, and you know, you have to stay the course, you know.
And one of the reasons we were able to do that was also because of our great mentors and folks who supported us in Haiti. So when I was spending 4 or 5 months, you know, at a time in country, and that's essentially where I lived, and Stephane which jokingly said, I'm coming to visit him in the United States.
Yeah, that was my single time. That was, in Miami, man.
We weren't not getting anywhere. But those individuals and mentors like Johnny Celestin or other folks that we worked with, they're the ones that really also helped us negotiate with farmers, negotiate with our suppliers, help us learn how to get things off the ground. So it takes a village really to grow.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, if you're watching, you can start asking your questions now. So we're going to start taking questions. So this would be a good time. Instagram and Facebook, start dropping your questions. Val, you have a question?
Yes, we have a question
Speak up.
from Facebook. His name is Jagger Make Herald. The question is, did you actually get your product patent? If not, what were the steps you took to protect your product?
That's a good
Really
question.
good question. So around the patent process, we've gone back and forth on if that's the best thing to do. One, when you get your product patent, you actually give your formula to everyone, because in order for them not to breach it, they have to actually have it.
Yeah.
And we just don't think that, based on the priorities of things that we have to do, that getting a patent was the first thing that we needed to focus on. But from a protection perspective, we have amazing lawyers and those who actually give their time because they believe in the brand, because we couldn't afford some of these lawyers, and one of our advisors who is an attorney, but everything from trademark protection to making sure that the brand as a whole is protected, we do take that seriously.
So, Stephane,
That's me.
we're used to seeing you more in the background. But as of the last couple of days, you are a fan favorite. Everyone saw that clip of you getting very emotional a couple of days ago, and then again tonight. At the private viewing party, we did talk a little bit about that, but I'm sure people want to know, what was that like for you? Because if they didn't see it, you guys got a few no's before you got to that yes. And then in between that, you got very emotional. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, all right, I'm going to try not to get emotional again. But, you know, real quick, I think one of the major things in entrepreneurship, you know, and especially in the journey, you get a lot of no's. You know, no from the retailer that you want to go after, no from investors. And parce que c'est haïtien nous y est, une fois ils disent c'est avocat, c'est docteur, ou t'as supposé faire, you get no from your family. And so being in the tank and being with those sharks, I think there were 5, all 4 said no. It just sort of went back to that experience of entrepreneurship and fighting against the no's. And the challenges that you have to go through on a personal side. I must say one glimmer of hope that came out of the struggles that we had very early on is that entrepreneurship forces you to know self. And, you know, in understanding, okay, when do I need to take a break? When do I need to work out? When we need to reconnect as, you know, we are life partners in addition to business partners. You know, and then I think on the flip side is like that feeling of like we let the community down. You know, we set this out not just for us, but as an opportunity to create work in Haiti, to put Haiti on the map. And so when you get all those no's, it's like, oh, mon cher.
Well, I will say this too, because this part wasn't shown, I don't think. So when folks started asking us specifically about 2016, so there were some questions around, you know, why and how you got emotional.
And how did you get back?
Yeah. So they started off by asking us again around the toughest period of time for both of us. So when they started in that way, it brings lots of emotions. It's not because, you know, we tend to cry a lot at business meetings. That's actually not something we do. But I think it's interesting and fascinating to think about the fact that there's a lot that we hold in as individuals and as human beings. And then when you're really fighting for something you believe in and they tap into something that was really emotional for us, that 2016 time frame, then it gets tough. And as you can see, anytime someone brings up 2016, we're both like, it's just a tough time for us. And I think one of the things that I loved around the messages of people that we were getting from all walks of life is, we understand what it means to fight for something, or if you've been an entrepreneur and things don't go right. We understand when you're looking at your bank account, you're thinking, how are we going to make these bills get paid when you're actually paying for your business? How about that? The business is supposed to make you rich and you're paying for it in order to do it. Anyone who's truly struggled, they could connect and understand what was happening at that moment. And we for sure did not rehearse it. We for sure did not even think that we were going to go there.
Before the clip dropped, I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna be seen, like, you know, I'm gonna be a Michael Jordan meme, like crying, like I look like a dope, and you know, because again, in our culture, you don't put that out, you know, you don't put the emotions out. And so, you know, and it's not the definition of, you know, masculinity of what you're supposed to do. So I was like, I was freaking out.
And I was like, baby, but I didn't know he was going to become a superstar. Everyone was like, damn, Stephane, you got us all crying here. But I think we all felt what you felt. And I think any of us who's sharing our story, who's sharing our passion for our culture, who's sharing our love for our community would feel the same way.
Okay, we have a question from one of our viewers on Instagram. Her name is Marie Ange I Am. Her question is, how did you come up with the idea to include royalties on your negotiations on Shark Tank?
Nice question.
Question.
Oh, I'm taking that.
Go ahead.
So, again, we're huge fans of the show, and you know, we're looking at whenever it airs, you know, we're looking at the show, looking at how some of the deals are structured. And I think leading on to the show, we had an opportunity. We did our research. You know, we sort of understood what type of deals that the Sharks go after. And, you know, one late night that we're going back and forth, we're talking. Yve-Car doesn't remember this, but, you know, the idea of royalties came about after seeing of some of the other businesses that he had invested in. And we saw an opportunity there. And so we went in sort of having our negotiating chips in our pockets and ready to use them. And, you know, we actually went out into the hallway, went back and forth. We knew the 37% was not a good deal. And so I think you were like, royalties. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. We already talked about it. So
right, because you forget over a course of a very spirited, I would say, hour and a half of conversation, and the Sharks are throwing questions at you. There is just no stop. It's like they're speaking on top of each other, so you've got to manage them, you've got to manage the questions, you have to coordinate as a team as to who's answering what. So we almost forgot we had the option of royalties, and then it came to us and there's nothing like when your back is up against a wall, right? Because we're like, We're not leaving
We're
here
not
without
leaving
a deal.
here without a deal. Like,
But we're also not giving up 37%. So we need to figure this
we need to make
out.
this work, you know, because
and
you're in there and it feels just like a normal meeting, you know. It feels like
Forget cameras are there.
forget it's Mark Cuban, it's Mr. Wonderful. It's like no, like, you know, again, we're not the type to do business dealings and get emotional. So it's like at this point, it's like, look, we have something, you have something that I need. Let's negotiate. Let's work it out. And here's what we need. So
when he said that 37%, they zoomed in on your face.
Right? Look, I'm not the numbers guy, and I knew that wasn't working. You know.
No, because your face just dropped, and then all of a sudden, everyone on social media on our lives, everyone was like, no to 37, no to 37. So at no point were you thinking like, at least someone said yes.
No. We went going in of essentially with intentions, and we look at the end of the day, you know the value of your company, and like I said, I'm not the numbers guy, but you know, I know the sweat equity, I know what we put in there. Yes, he's a great partner, but you know, and if you saw that piece, and I was like, okay, then what are you putting inside? You know, if you want that much, how are you going to help us to get to that next level? Because then you own a big part of the company, and so you're part of the organization as well. So it's a win for you and it's a win for me. So how are we going to get there together?
We have a question from Facebook. Queen B Duperval Addison wants to know.
Nice.
What was or what the most challenging experience you encountered, and how did you manage to pull it through?
Good questions.
So I think we know 2016 was the toughest time we went through. I think by now everyone knows that, or probably will hear about it. We had to do a couple of different things in order to get through that. I would say number one.
We're going to be on the same page with that.
I don't know. What are you going to say? Yes, I was going to say that. Okay. We could be together for another 15 years. It really started with working on self. We had to work on self. Yeah. We pulled on Jesus. Yeah. We pulled on Super Soul Sunday. So when I quote Oprah, I'm not just quoting it just because. It's because that was our church. Yeah. That's where we wrote notes, and we thought through our relationship together. We thought about our purpose. We thought about how we were going to get there. We had to slow down and get back to basics. Yeah. And it was very humbling because we were growing so quickly, and then all of a sudden it was just like stop and then down. You're about to be bankrupt. And I think it's probably also the hardest time, but the time I remember and love the most, because I felt so connected to and centered as an individual. I think we really worked on being in sync together, and then we said, all right, it helped us to work from a place of calm about what to do next. And the next thing we started to do is focus on our tribe. So we're sitting there, we're working with this bulk person, that bulk person, and we weren't doing as much on social. We weren't doing as many events. We weren't doing as much digitally. And essentially what it did is help to refocus us on where we needed to be. And so now anytime I see us deviating, I'm like, let's focus on the tribe. Let's keep connecting and talking. And when we follow you guys, everything works out A-okay. So that's what we keep doing.
I see we're getting a few questions about where people can get the products from aside from online. So I want you guys to, before you answer the next question, remind people where to get the products. But they're asking, like, for example, Princess Haiti Deuce is asking, can she get it in Turks and Caicos because they need it in Turks and Caicos. So let's talk about locations.
Yeah. So for starters, KreyolEssence.com. So you can go there, and if you are international, we do ship internationally. I've shipped products to the not Turks and Caicos specifically, but throughout the Caribbean, Europe. We also work with a network of boutiques and specialty stores nationwide and internationally. So if you are in Montreal, if you are in Canada, France, the UK, you can essentially go on KreyolEssence.com, store locator, put in your zip code or postal code, and you'll find a nearby boutique that actually sells our product. One of our largest retailers right now is Whole Foods Market. In the whole body section, you can find our Umascriti. And
in the spring.
And in this, I'm going to let you take that. You can make that announcement.
Sure. So we have a lot happening in the spring. So we've mentioned that we will be in all 1,200 Ultas. So you'll be able to fiend the hair products everywhere.
Right. That's the full line.
That's the full line. And in about 200 Whole Food Market stores, in addition to having the Haitian castor oil, now they're carrying everything. hair care, skin care, body care. So it's a really big deal that, you know, we've lasted 2 years at Whole Foods because of you all.
Yeah.
And then now they're like, all right, let's go from 3 products to about 20. And so we thank you guys for that. You can find our products at Whole Foods. Continue to go in there and make your presence known. And we have some other fun launches that are coming up as well. You can find us on urbanoutfitters.com. That's currently there. If you are in the Northeast, our body products are at Wegmans, and they're going to be launching our hair care line in the spring as well. And we have some other fun folks that we're talking to. So stay tuned. Stay connected on our website, on our social, because we're constantly going to be sharing where you can get our products as well.
We have a question from Cynthia Eugene from Facebook. She firstly wanted to congratulate you guys on the deal.
Merci.
And the question is, what does it mean when you guys have a contract for 5% equity?
Good question. So when so when someone has equity, 5%, so when we get to that $100 million mark, you know, that person is going to have 5% of that money. Let's say that was our profit. So it's essentially every time that we have profit, meaning after you have your sales and then you've paid all your expenses, what you have left, you have to pay 5% of, let's say it was 100,000, you have to give 5% of that to that individual. So your investors, you know, some people it's monthly, some folks it's quarterly, some it's yearly. You have to pay them that percentage of your net profit.
And that term is called dividends.
Yes.
Okay, we have another question from one of our Instagram viewers. Name is Conscious Seduction. She asks, would you guys ever buy him out to become 100% Haitian owned again?
Okay. Yes, I think that's always a possibility.
Yeah,
and you, absolutely, it's something that I think entrepreneurs should structure their contracts with a buyout clause. The first thing I look at in any contract is how do I get out of it, right? Because let to bagay bon when everything is great, you don't think about those things. But while things are good and calm, that's the best time to look at how do you get out of the contract and how do they. So buyout clauses, I am a big fan of. And usually with a buyout clause, you can already predetermine what additional percentage you're going to give the person in order to give them their money and have them leave the company. So that's something.
I think in looking from the other perspective, one of the major things that we learned earlier this year is that Jeff Bezos is one of the richest people in the world right now, and he only owns 14% of Amazon.
Yeah.
So when we talk about wealth and generational wealth and sort of growing and building a company out, yes, at the helm, I think what's more important is that it's Haitians at the helm. But when you're scaling a company and you're going on a global and mass level, which is ultimately where we want to take things, you know, in the community, you're going to need some of those players, you know, that 5%, that 10%, so that it can actually be a larger company and a bigger pie for us to play with. So I think that's another way to sort of look at ownership.
Yeah, and I think that's a personal decision that each business has to make based on how much cash you need, based on how much advice you need, and based on how long you want to wait to grow. I always say you could take 10 years to become a success, or you could take 2 years to become a success. And often it's based on who's part of your network and who's helping to teach you, to who are your advocates and who's investing. Either way is okay. It's just a decision that you have to make around what's best for your business and what's best for you.
Marie Bernard Pennington from Facebook wants to know why you guys gave so much of your company for $400,000 when you're projecting $2 million of sales this year. Is it mainly for the help and guidance of Mr. Wonderful?
I think you could say that, and 5% is not that much. 5% is really not that much. You know, investors of the sort, you have to think, they could pitch thousands of businesses a day. So from the perspective of his area of opportunity, there are a number of businesses that he could decide to invest in. And when you do invest in so many businesses, some investors won't get out the bed for 5%. You know, that's not enough incentive for them. So I think it's about understanding where the investor is. The other thing, projecting $2 million in sales. I always say this, top line, which is what they call what your gross sales are, it's important. It's an indicator of how much people want your product, but it's not an indicator of how much money you have, right? So if you notice, the next question that the investor asks is, what's your net, you know, on the money that you made? Well, in beauty, usually it's about 30%. There are some places, I know a lot of people who are in food, it's like 15%. It could be 10%. So that means you're not actually liquid. It's about how liquid you are. So just to say you're going to $2 million in sales, it means you don't need an investor. Not the way to necessarily think about it. The correct question is, how much net cash flow or how much free cash flow do you have after all the expenses? Now, if I have $2 million after that, after I pay all my expenses, then we can definitely talk about why, you could reinvest that money in the company. Right. You'll have what they call working capital on Kreyol, les fonds roulement, so that when you have to invest in the company, you can grow without getting outside capital.
Let's talk a little bit about branding, because I remember you guys from the very beginning when you guys first started out, and you guys have always been very big on what your branding look like, the bottles, the marketing, your social media. And a lot of times I feel like, especially in the Haitian community, a lot of people don't put too much emphasis on that, because we know you're startups, you're trying to do what you can. And you feel like when you get there, I'll worry about the brand, I'll work on the branding. As a team that's very clear about the importance of branding, let's talk a little bit about why you guys have done it the way you have.
He's bougie on the branding side.
So very early on, this is actually my second foray into entrepreneurship. Yve-Car and I started a company called Nouveau Concepts, along with my frat brother and brother-in-law, Vanilla Lamore, out of Boston. It was a design and marketing firm, and our ethos and sort of our motivation was just really Nouveau Concepts, right? So how can we, as young Haitian Americans, present our culture in that light of focusing on the brand, focusing on clean beauty or clean marketing and clean branding. And so when we were coming up with the name Kreyol Essence, it was really, what is it about Haiti, or what's at the essence of Haiti and the culture? C'est Kreyol, right? C'est l'homme-là, c'est manger, c'est mounio, c'est pepio, c'est femme-là. And so Kreyol was always, that was it, that's the essence. And it goes back to Yve-Car's story, parce que son produit, tout le monde connaît. We all hold to near and dear, we put value in, and so it was our mission to present it in a way where that value was presented to the rest of the world. And we felt it was just the entryway so people could really understand the beauty and the treasures that Haiti has to offer just through our beauty products.
I think we're also very cognizant of how the world perceives us.
Right.
As a
and
country.
Even our own, how we perceive ourselves.
How we perceive ourselves.
Right.
I think we get asked about if we're really Haitian, more from Haitians than outsiders.
Yeah.
And it could be because we don't expect enough from each other,
right.
Or sometimes we don't hold each other to high esteem because of bad experiences that have happened in the past. So I think in order to ensure that Haiti was respected, and because we respect you all, we respect our tribe, we wanted nothing but the best. Why is it that you will walk into an Ulta, a Sephora, a Credo, and certain other boutiques, and there are just beautiful products that work for everyone else, but that when there's nothing that comes from us and that is geared towards us? That didn't make sense to me, and to me that's a problem. That's a void, and that's why I think we've also been very particular about our branding, so that as a community we're respected, and as a brand that we're respected.
Yeah. And I think to your point, and I think you're big on this, is respecting our tribe. Yve-Car is always pushing me to make sure that you guys are getting the white glove treatment, and giving you guys the service that unfortunately our community is not known to have. So if something is lost, if something is damaged, we're going to hold your hands. We're going to making sure that you actually get that product and ultimately gets delivered, because we respect your sacrifices, your commitment that you're making with us. And so that's the white glove treatment you often get with very high end, your Louis Vuitton, whatever.
Yeah.
Works. You deserve that, And so that's the gift that we want to give to you guys, for the commitment and your support.
Makinko MVP from Facebook want to know, would you guys ever go public?
That's a good question.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I think
we
some
go back
and forth. Some entrepreneurs are like, yes, from the get-go, I know I want to go public. I don't know if going public is what would serve us well. Yeah. I'm looking at different models of how companies have scaled and had others come in and made sure that their social impact is still continues. And I think Ben & Jerry's is an amazing example of that. So if everyone knows the ice cream Ben & Jerry's, they sold their company to Unilever. But one of the things that they did is they created a sub-board that should Unilever, pay people under a certain amount or, particular covenants that really did not meet their social impact, that board could take the company right back from Unilever. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's of interest in looking at how you structure those deals to make sure that the community is safe and that your impact is safe without sacrificing growth. Yeah. So that's what I've been looking at lately, but I never say never. I think as you evolve as an entrepreneur, as you learn more, things change. So I won't say never.
Yeah. And, we definitely want to, there's been, in all this comments of like, oh, the bigger you get, your formulas change, this doesn't work as much. And so going public changes that, the sort of, not so much the commitment because, yes, you are serving the public's, investment interest and investment. I think my perspective around that, like we always want to make sure that we're serving you, the customer. You're our largest stakeholders. You're our largest investors because you're investing in us with the products, and so we want to continue that commitment with you.
We have another question from one of our Instagram viewers. Her name is Charles Dav. So she wants to know a little bit more about the process as far as getting the opportunity. What are the requirements, and for maybe businesses in Haiti? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so son plan d'affaires ou bon faire là. So you get your patent and cuties. That's important. Yeah. Registering in Haiti is not easy.
Yeah.
Okay, we have an entity registered in Haiti, and it can take a year to do so. But I think what you want to do is get a good attorney.
They always say, what do you need? Your lawyer, accountant, and this is one more.
But your lawyer and your accountant you have to get. Yeah. And I think once you get two good ones, whether in the States or in Haiti, they can walk you through the process so that it's not as laborious or it's not as hard. If you are in Haiti, good lawyer, a good accountant. You don't have to get someone who's too expensive, but if they have the experience, they can make it a lot easier for you because they know the system already.
Yeah. So, before we get into our last question, of course, we have to make sure we let you guys know we're getting a lot of congratulations. People are saying they're proud of you. Like, people have been cheering for you guys before the episode, and even now with the outcome, they're even more excited. So we need to make sure we let you know that your tribe is excited and they're happy. And tying in what she just asked about opportunity, you guys you've done QVC. You've done Sephora, Shop LC. Shop LC. Shop LC, not QVC. Sephora. You guys have had other opportunities, but this one, what did Shark Tank mean to you, and what is it? How is it going to project your business next?
I think it's an opportunity to present the hard work that we've been going through, and then present Haiti and present the products nationwide. I think with all the different opportunities that we've had, we hit different audiences, different tribe members, so they're great, right? Like, we're welcoming them in. So I feel like this is sort of like a bit of a coming out, right? And a combination of, of the tribe members and on a larger scale with regards to the opportunity that we had.
I agree. I think anytime we have an opportunity to tell our story, it's important. And I think what Shark Tank does, it amplifies that. I was saying before, like, we were super excited. Cardi B, was like, this is super cool. This is great. An entrepreneur that I respect so much, Lisa Price from Carol's Daughter, she was, writing on our blog, on our IG, about how proud she was after she saw the clip, which Stephane has everyone reeling around. She
knows that struggle.
She knows the struggle, right, as an entrepreneur. So, I just think also it's such a respected show.
Right.
And that when an entrepreneur goes on there, that they, have oftentimes either a valid business or a valid reason why they are on that carpet. I think there's a stat that it's harder to get on Shark Tank than it is to get into Harvard. Okay? So essentially we just bypass numbers for Harvard University and to get on Shark Tank. And to do it so boldly and comfortably, I think Haitian.
Yeah.
To do it so boldly and comfortably at representing the natural hair community, the clean beauty community, social entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs who don't come from a wealth of money.
Right.
Like we are part of so many different communities, and to be able to go there and also get a deal from someone who's about business, right? So Mr. Wonderful is not known for taking on businesses just because he likes you. There has to be some meat and some numbers. So to me, I think that's all validation about what we can do and what we can all accomplish. And that's what I am hoping that it continues to do. Validation, so we keep going to the next step forward, one day at a time, but that we're continuing to grow.
Startup Grind PAP, which is Startup Grind Port-au-Prince.
Startup
Yes, I
Grind,
love them.
baby.
Their question, and I think it is a great question for us to let you guys go to now so you can go sleep and celebrate. What's your biggest takeaway from Shark Tank and the first advice they would give to anyone who's going to present to Shark Tank?
Oh, numbers. Know your numbers, back and forth. And I think it's actually smart to go in there having at least tested your model for your business. Because when you get on there, you want to be able to make a strong case for your company. And I'm actually glad that this is the time in our business life period that we went on the show, because we have factual, numbers, we have retail partners. It's just much easier to make the case. And as you can see, even with all that, we had to do so much fighting. So much fighting on the show. So know your numbers, be prepared. And I know everyone hears that, but I'm talking about, like, there were questions I was asked about my balance sheet that I simply just did not even expect that they were going to go that deep. And I'm glad we were able to talk about it. But besides your P&L, make sure you know your balance sheet, make sure you know your numbers, your margins, all of that, so that you are taken seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting us to be part of this experience with you guys. We've been cheering you on from the beginning. We're just excited to see where you guys go next. We appreciate you for bringing a tribe, your community along with this journey with you.
Yes.
Anything you guys want to say now to everyone else that is watching you, that's been watching you, and that's been cheering you guys on since you announced this week?
We want to say thank you.
Thank you. Merci en pile.
Yes. Some people have said, we're saying congratulations, but we know you've probably heard it enough. You have no idea. Each one means so much to us. And I really don't say this just because I feel like we have just like this large family that has been there with us, who has cried with us, because some people are like, I'm crying. No, you're crying. I'm like, we're all going to cry as a family. We're all going to be happy. We're all going to cheer, and we're all going to learn. So thank you so much, because I'm pretty sure the folks at Shark Tank too are like, who are all these people? There are so many red and blue flags underneath their posts.
I know.
They're like, what is going on? They're getting tagged all over the place. Yeah. And I think also when, like our partners at Ulta see this, there's probably like, yes, there's a community that is excited about this. And what that does is it opens doors for all of us in other realms, in the same realm, to move forward. Because once there's one, there will be others. Exactly. So that's exciting. So I just want to say thank you so much, because we couldn't do it without you.
Exactly.
And where do we find the product one last time?
KreyolEssence.com.